Let's bring in NBC senior Washington correspondent Hallie Jackson to break down for us how this speech might be received here at home. Hallie, give us the takeaway. What were some of the biggest for you coming out of this address?
Yeah, I think you and Keir have gone through, I think, some of what might resonate internationally here beyond our borders. But here at home, I mean, listen, this was the president making a muscular case as the United States, as America being the, in many ways, defender of democracy. He framed it as the fight for protecting some of these democratic countries against threats that they face, whether it be Hamas, whether it be the threat from the Kremlin in the case of Ukraine. You heard the president casting it in those kinds of almost existential terms here. It was a personal speech for him, and we have seen him take this personal tone before, Jake, especially, I mean, in the last 13 days since this war began, since that Hamas terror attack back on October 7th. The president has cast this in an intensely personal way. He talked about his visit to Israel, being there and seeing the pain and the grief that some of those people are going through. He talked about that horrific stabbing of that little boy, just 6 years old, here in this country because police say of straight up Islamophobia here. I mean, that is the way that the president framed this, saying there is no room in this country for anti-Semitism. There is no room in this country for Islamophobia, essentially challenging Americans to raise the bar on that front. And then there's the piece of this that I think is what some people inside the Beltway where I am here in Washington are talking about, which is the president making the case for why the U.S. must support our allies, in his view, Israel and Ukraine, in the wars that they face here, and continue to fund them, continue to send them money, continue to give them the aid that they need to be able to try to be successful here. Well,
Hallie, let me ask you about that part. I mean, Biden is talking here about how he will be asking Congress to pass funding for both Israel and Ukraine.
That's right.
Here's a little bit of what he said.
That's why tomorrow I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine. Is a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations. Help us keep American troops out of harm's way. Help us build a world that is safer, more peaceful, more prosperous for our children and grandchildren.
Now, I don't want to drag you down the rabbit hole of the speaker fight, but how does he accomplish this specific thing without a speaker in place? I mean, what can the president do without Congress?
Nothing. Financially, as it relates to sending money overseas, Jake, what can the president do? He can't do anything. He can't accomplish it. And it's not him, right? It's the fact that there is not a Speaker of the House right now, meaning that there's not going to be a dollar that goes towards new aid here that can get passed because there is not a functional House of Representatives in this Congress to actually pass it. So, there is some rabbit hole element to this because of how weedy it can get when we talk about the speaker fight and the speaker drama. But it is critical at this moment because we know late tonight we are learning that the temporary Speaker of the House, the person who's been put in charge in just this caretaker role, just temporarily, is being very clear. He is not even going to try to do anything more than simply gavel in, gavel out, get a speaker elected, because he believes, Patrick McHenry, the temporary speaker is, the speaker pro tem, he believes that that is all he's empowered to do. Right, that is what the rules and the limitations are in this moment. That right now, the only thing you see him there, the only thing the House of Representatives can do is elect a Speaker of the House. Let me tell you, they are not close to that at this point. It looks like the next vote is going to be tomorrow morning. It does appear that Congressman Republican Jim Jordan is going to try for the third time to get enough Republican support, that all-important 217 votes just about, to get the Speaker's gavel. He isn't there based on the numbers that we're seeing and based on the reporting that our teams are doing. So what is going to be different here in the speaker drama? We don't know, potentially nothing. But the reason why it matters when it comes to what we're talking about here and this international crisis, this war in the Middle East, is because and by the way, of course, the war that Russia is waging in Ukraine, it's just tough to see. I mean, it's impossible to have some of this money get passed when there is not a functional second chamber in Congress to be able to do it, Jake.
Right. It all looks like political theater until some real stakes come right home here for us. So, Hallie, recent CNBC polling shows that some 60% of Americans disapprove of the president's handling of foreign policy, while 31% approve. And, his overall approval rating is not looking too good either. Do you think this speech does him any good? How will all of this translate going into 2024, do you think?
I think it's hard to say based on a speech here or a speech there. Obviously, it is significant that any president sits at that desk in the Oval Office, at the Resolute desk, and gives remarks like that. It is rare. We see that just a a bare handful of times, right, in any given administration. It is not something that is used commonly, and it is a signal that this administration, whatever administration it is taking the issue seriously and has a message to deliver to people in prime time. That president believes very clearly, and you've seen it from what we've heard from White House officials, believes that this moment meets that this is a time when Americans, when people need to be tuning in, paying attention, understanding the stakes of these two different wars, and again, casting this as both Israel and Ukraine, and the fight against what the president sees as this existential threat to their democratic operations here. So that is sort of the moment that we're talking about, and the moment that you've seen the optics of it, if you will, in this space. You look at some of the numbers of where the president is, as you mentioned, in the low 30s, I think it was, for the foreign policy approval, low 30s overall, one of the lowest points of his presidency for overall approval. We are headed into a campaign year, and that is going to be like, this is, we know that most American voters tend to go to the polls. They think the most important issues to them are often domestic, right? It's economic issues, it's pocketbook issues, it's kitchen table stuff. But the way that any president handles a critical international moment obviously is significant. That said, there's a lot of factors that come into play when Americans go to the polls just about over a year from now, Jake.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.